Hello, it's your favorite mental health bestie, Ifelolua, and I'm also the country representative for Erasmus Mundus Association, representing Nigeria. So, quick one. Before I start, I need to apologize because I've been MIA. I'm so sorry. It's because I've been swamped with a lot of activities, studying, etc., etc. But guess what? I decided to take a little break for my busy schedule to create this video just for you. And do you know why? Because you're special. So a lot of people have been asking me in my DM on all my socials, how do I apply for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship program? What are the requirements? What do I need? How do I navigate this link? I don't understand the website. It's a bit confusing. And I've heard all of this and I've decided to create this video to simplify steps on how to navigate this website, how to, find your way around it and find the right program just for you. And hopefully you also join me in Europe for the Erasmus Mundus Masters Scholarship Program. So sit back, ride along, and let's get right into it. Here we go, guys. So this is what the Erasmus Mundus website looks like. It is important to familiarize yourself with this website. Secondly, I want you to eradicate every form of fear. You can also get this scholarship and you can do it. You have everything it takes to get this scholarship. So let's go. So you have this, you can find information about the master's program, frequently asked questions. Please go through all of these things. They're very important. As you can see, there are about 214 programs currently on this website. So typically, I would have said you should search for, certain course, maybe type social work, for example. But I will not advise this. If it's your first time, just finding out the program you want to do. If you do this, it limits your search because sometimes in this catalog, the way they name the programs is quite different from, the programs or the courses or departments we are used to in our home country. So I would advise to diligently go through all these programs and see which is closely related to your area of specialization or your interests. After, if you've done that, you can narrow it down to selecting 4 courses. I think you can apply to 4 courses. So when you narrow it down to 4 courses and you want to, subsequently come back to these courses, then you can use the keywords. I hope that makes sense. So here you can see, we have several courses, and we have several courses. So because I am just showing an example, I'm just going to, for this filter, you can also, look for the duration and credits. You can see universities, you can see field of studies, you can see the year. But like I said, because I want to, you guys need to do diligent work. So you need to go through all of these programs to see which is closely related to yours. I know it's quite tasking, but it's part of what you should do. You can also see some of the countries. Maybe you're particular about a particular country. You can maybe you like a particular country. You can click on these countries. Note they're only countries in the European Union. They're part of the European Union. So you see. But if you do this, there are other countries too, like Japan, India. This is interesting. So if you do this, you would also limit your your search, like I said earlier. So we're not going to do all of this. We're just going to go straight up. So I'll be using education, migration, and diversity as my example here. So if you click on this topmost part of the link, it takes you to just knowing about the program. Let's try this, for example. If you click on this link rather, it shows you about the the projects. Sometimes where to apply is always here, so you need to really read through this website. It's very, very important. So can you see the website? For example, you can change your language to whichever suits you, English or Spanish. You can see home, program, applications. In the application, you can see procedure, timeline, entry requirement, document required, cost and funding, application portal, and what happens after you're accepted. You can see team and you can see contact. So for navigating this website, it's important to familiarize yourself with everything here. It's important to note that for the Erasmus Mundus program, not every program is unique. They don't have the same requirement, they don't have the same deadlines, they don't have the same procedures. They are very unique in itself. So if I'm telling you about this particular program, education, migration, and diversity, everything here might not apply to other courses. So for example, we could find where to apply, just write about the program, and in some programs you have to click on the link below, this link. Secondly, because this time is not mostly the time when the Erasmus Mundus application is opened, you might not really see the full display of how to go about the application. But whatever I'm going to be showing you now is everything you need to know and to prepare yourself for the application period when it's going to be open. It will be mostly open around, let's say, October, November, December, January. So start putting your documents together. It's very important. So back to this website. So you can see everything you need to know about this program. You can see what is the name of the program: Erasmus Mundus Master in Education, Migration and Diversity. Its duration is for 2 years. These are universities that are partnering with this program. You can see. You can also see the start date. You're starting in Germany, and it shows also the deadline. It says deadline is 15th of February for scholarships and for self-funded students. So you need to be very aware of all this little information. And if you have questions, you can always use this contact button. I know most times you're scared of sending that email. Don't be scared. Just send the email. Ask questions about anything that might seem confusing. So the procedure is here, how to apply. It explains everything you need to know. For scholarship holders, all the information you need to know are here. And if you want to, pay your school fees yourself, you can also find the information here. It explains everything. This requires an online interview, a written application process, and you can see the timeline, the deadline for the application, when they will start asking people for interviews, when they will notify you if you're successful, every other thing. It's always here. You can also see the entry requirements. The final grade of the first degree should be a minimum of a C+ and proven by certificate. They also value people that can speak more than one language. So whatever is your local language, you could also include this in your application. So it's very important to read through the website. Now moving on, you can see documents required for the application. They want to ensure that you have a bachelor's master degree, so you need every document that proves this: your transcript, your certificates. You need all of these things, and it must be in English. If not, you need to translate it to the other official language they are requesting here. You also need your school leaving certificate. For Nigerians, we call it WAEC or SSCE. You need this. You need your passport, of course, to prove where you are from. You also need, sometimes they ask for English language proficiency. But if you read well, they're asking for Cambridge, UNISAT, IELTS. You can read with at least band 7.0, TOEFL, Pearson Academic, and all stuff. But note, language proficiency can alternatively be demonstrated through the following qualifications. So if, for example, in your country, the official language is English. For example, in Nigeria, our official language is English. English is the medium of instruction from primary school up to our university. You don't need to provide any of these tests. All you need to do is message your school, your school. Ask them for what they call medium of instruction, or maybe it's called something else in your school. Ask them for this document that proves that I was being taught in English all through my bachelor studies, and then you're good to go. So you just need to attach this document to your application. So it's very, very important. I'm making emphasis on this, to read through the website, know every line, familiarize yourself with it. It makes things easier. Don't just listen to what people are saying here and there. Oh, you must have IELTS, you must write this exam. You just might not need them. So if you read through, you can see what they want and what they don't want. That goes like that. And also, you see, they want certificate of employment, if you've done internship, which is very, very important. Maybe in some other videos I'll be talking about how this voluntary work internship can strengthen your your application I would say. So they need any of this. Can you see the requirement? They also need a motivational letter, not more than 2 pages. So this is also very important. When you follow instructions and you read through the website, it makes the application process seamless. You also need a CV. I would also always recommend to use the Europass CV to, as a format to create your CV. I would also attach this link in the description box below, because it's mostly recognized by most schools and programs in Europe. So just use it. It makes it easier for you. Also, you need name and addresses of 2 referees, academic and or professional, maybe from your workplace or somewhere you volunteered and all those stuff. So please read through. You can see what you need to do. Also, it explains how much you'll be receiving. You're receiving a sum of 1,400 euros for 2 years. Your health insurance will be covered. You're not paying tuition fees, and the rest is for self-funded, which makes sense. And it also tells you the country that you apply to, that you'll be visiting rather. So you can see here it says application portal is now closed, because this is not the application period like I explained. And you can find other very useful information, and basically that's how to navigate this website in the first place. You can also see, it explains everything. You're going to Germany as your first mobility country. Next, you're going to Sweden, and next, I think you're going to which country is this? I don't know which country this is. I think Italy. And sometimes you can also pick. You have options to pick between 1 or 2 countries. It all depends on the unique requirements of the program. It also explains a lot about programs, the content. So notes also in your motivational letter, you need to also understand this, so you can infuse it into your motivational letter, which I'll be talking about in another video. Moving on, you can also click on this link, which is this link. This talks about the project. It's also important to know about this project. It shows that the project is ongoing and the end date is 2030. This information is also very, very important. I will explain why. During my time, someone applied for a program that the end date was like very close. Maybe, for example, the start date was 2024 and the end date was 2025, and it was applying in the year 2024. And at the end, they could not get funding for this project, so he had to pay, his tuition fee and every other cost that was related to applying for the program. So also, you need to check this end date and read about the program to be sure that they're going to renew funding. I'm not at the edge, This 2030 now, for anybody that will be applying this year, you're safe and then you're good to go. It also says the cost of the grant. Every information you need, you'll find it here. The countries covered, the summary of the program, the coordinating country and university, it's here. You can find everything you need to know about this program. So that's one way to navigate the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship Catalogue, I would say. So I'll just say general recommendations now. I need to keep this very, very brief. Also, like I said, always double check when you're applying. Ensure that you are filling in correct information, especially your name, your school details and everything, because whatever you're putting in your application, you need to prove it when you eventually come to Europe. Also, you need to, after you've applied, you need to always check your email, because after a while they ask your school to now send maybe their official transcript to them directly. Some program make this requirement, so you need to always check your email to be sure that you're keeping up. And note that you need to why you need to check your email is because there are deadlines for these things. They can say, oh, your school should send the transcript within 1 week. If in 3 days you've not checked your email, you don't know this information, and they're expecting, and the deadline has elapsed, that could forfeit your slot in getting the scholarship. So you need to be very, very mindful of those things. Um, Lastly, I will encourage you, don't be scared. You can do it, it's possible. I did it, and I believe that you also can do it. And I'm waiting for you to join me here in Europe. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope this video was helpful. If it was very helpful, you can like, share, and comment. If you also have further questions, you can put it in the comment section, and then we can continue from there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying till this time, and I wish you good luck.